Let's try and get positive Matty back here. We do love you, Leeds. Even if it chuffing kills us. Try and be bright and colourful. Oh, how are you all doing? Welcome back to Imagine Not Being Leeds for your Middlesbrough versus Leeds United preview. But basically, just a fucking chat about our club. Yeah, I want to do it a bit different, really. I like to bring slides up now and again when I do this and look at their form, which I'll do, but I think everyone knows their form. They've won 5 out of the last 7. They're second in the form table. We're 15th, I think it is now, which is not for good reading. We all know Middlesbrough are a very capable side. I'm hoping it's going to be a bit of an end-to-end game, open up, give us plenty of space and chance. I mean, we beat them 3-1 at Ellen Road last season at the Riverside. Were 4-3, as you know, it was a bit of a crazy game. But yeah, I'll do a bit different, really. I don't want to be too negative today, so I ain't going to harp on too much about the negatives. I was in Joe's chat earlier, and I don't think you went down too well. So it's one of them. So I'm sort of leaving it to chat. I'm going to literally just go where you go. You want to ask me a question, ask me my opinion, I'll answer it honestly. I think there's too many people at the minute saying it's all sunshines and rainbows when it isn't. And I am the most positive fan, the most supportive fan you'll ever see in the world. My family, my wife will tell you that all I do is talk about Leeds. I'm going tomorrow, spend money, invest time emotionally. But yeah, I've struggled these last few weeks. I think that's fair. I think that's fine. Some of the comments I've had from certain people recently have made me feel like you're not allowed to be negative at all. I think there's validity to my points. I think I'm very fair. I'm very honest, man. I don't tell lies. Very open. And yeah, I've struggled with that. To be fair, I've not had many bad clients and any sort of negativity in 6 months of having the channel. As I've got a little bit negative, certain really super positive people, which is brilliant, have struggled with my negativity that's crept in and my love for Farke that's now dwindled. But like I say, I'm quite happy to just go back and forth with chat, discuss what's come up today in press conference, let me know your thoughts, and yeah, I think we'll just get through it like that. So yes, I know Evie's live, which is nice that you've come over, because to be fair, I was watching Evie too, and she's good value. So thanks for coming over. Like I say, I'm going to try and be a bit more positive, because I do actually think we'll win tomorrow. I do actually think we'll win for how bad it's been lately, and how my mentality shifted in terms of being a super positive guy to being fairly negative this last 2 weeks. I do believe we'll get ours up tomorrow, regardless of what I think about Farke currently, regardless of what I think about the form. But yeah, Tez is in. Nice to see you, buddy. Danny, as always, like and subscribe. Thank you so much, Danny, buddy. Hope you've had a good day. Come on, Leeds, is my mate Callum. Yeah, man. Evening, Matthew. Hope your day's been good and family. Yeah, thanks a lot, Danny, mate. Everyone's good in the Foster household. Looking forward to me and the missus are in Cardiff Friday, Saturday night, so I'll be watching the game in a pub. So yeah, I'm looking forward to that. We'll have to see Gabrielle and the Lighthouse family. Well, I say the Lighthouse family, they're opening for Gabrielle, but it's still just the lead singer. I can't remember his name now. The lead singer of the Lighthouse family, he opens for Gabrielle. I'll actually be a big Gabrielle fan. I'm quite a big Lighthouse family fan, so that's on Friday night, but we're staying all weekend. Got babysitters. We haven't had a weekend to ourselves or a night to ourselves in about 18 months, so looking forward to it. Matt, you look like from Kevin and Pettit. All I want to do is win tomorrow. Yeah, man. Hope you're well, mate. Yeah, I'm good. Angela, hope you're well. Evening, Matty, MOT. Hey, up, Stephen. Hope you're all well. Evening, Top Banana. Thanks, buddy. Evening. Would be pretty boring if Leeds did it easy. Danny, this is the thing, isn't it? It's going to make it a lot sweeter that I've had this wobble, that we've had this wobble when we get over the line. It is going to make it a little bit sweeter. So as always, my mate Danny is putting links in the chat. As I get to them, I'll shout them out. Passion for Leeds, go check out Callum, please, if you haven't already. Danny is double jobbing. What happened with Joe earlier? Well, I was going to do a stream. You were on about inviting me on a stream tonight. It didn't work out, and yeah, just he was busy or didn't want to do another after press conference. So he invited me on, and then we sort of said, I won't bother. And then on the way home from work, he was doing his live presser, and I was in the chat, and we just disagreed. I watched the final word with Jack and Lockie, and I just felt a lot of points that were made in that weren't. I just didn't agree with them. It's about opinions. I just didn't agree with them. So I spoke to Joe earlier saying, I'm a bit gutted I weren't on the final word, because I think I'd have brought some different points and different talking points rather than all three of them sort of thinking the same sort of thing, which is fine. Obviously, people can. I've been on Joe's show loads of times and I thought the same thing, but I just felt a lot of it needed challenging. So I sort of challenged those points a little bit in his live press conference, and yes, he doesn't agree. But that's fine. I love Joe, man. He's the GOAT. There we go. Ostracised with a laughing face. Here's Chris Gillett. Here, you know I'm not very well educated. Ostracised might be too strong a word, but I firmly believe that it's his track record. Farke pushed aside Buendia, Cantwell at Norwich for various poor training methods. He did it with Jed Spence. If you believe Farke, you believe Farke, whatever. He's done it with Schmidt this season. We were all questioning why he didn't get minutes. We're now seeing it with Ramazani. We saw it last season with Cresswell. He's doing well. Roberts, he's now doing well. Jay Dante, he's now doing well. There's a common denominator in here, and I'd say it's Daniel Farke. I said on Joe's show that I even asked. I says, you can't guarantee that. I said lying. It's a little bit too strong again, a word probably, but exaggerating. You know, in life, certain people don't like other people, and I don't get the narrative. I say I go to the games and you see Ramazani up and down that touchline. You know, training, warming up, smiling, laughing, looks very much involved like he wants to be, celebrating every goal. I find it hard to believe in training he's not giving enough. For me, it's Daniel Farke's opinion that he's not giving enough, and I think that's because maybe weren't a Daniel Farke signing. Maybe he's not asked for him. I don't know what it is. I think the fact he does somersaults when he scores, the fact that he's a very talented off-the-cuff sort of player. I know Daniel Farke tries to knock that out of certain people. He don't like that. We saw it with Rutter last season. I don't know. I just think there's a reason beyond that of why he's not playing him, and the fact that he gets asked a question from the media about a certain player not performing, and then he spins it and speaks about somebody else that's not currently playing. I just don't like that man management. Like, some people say that's good man management. I would disagree on that point wholeheartedly and say it's poor man management, if I'm honest. But yeah, I do think it's valid what I'm saying. I do firmly believe if he don't like you ain't got a chance, basically. There's Danny Rumsey's channel. Please give him a subscribe. Hey up, Matty. Keep your head up. We all Brooke here. Hope you well, mate. We must believe. Come on, Leeds, Richie boy. Yeah, we've got what else can we do but believe? It's all we can do, mate. I believe. I do. I believe we are one win away from kicking into action again. Imagine Not Being Leeds. Too many happy clappers at Leeds at the minute, mate. Some Farke arse lickers. You know what it is? I've loved Farke from day one, Dr. Cox. I've loved him all the way through. I've fallen out of love with him the last 2 weeks, and that correlates with his comments after in press conferences, the way he handles situations, you know, during games. I will never put hate on somebody, because I don't live by that. You know, I'll always try and find reason to be positive and enjoy someone's company or shine a light. I don't ever want to put anyone down, so I'm not that kind of person. But when it comes to Daniel Farke now, I've fallen out of love with Farke. After almost 2 years with arguably the best squad for 2 years, people would argue, we're still third. There's, you know, nearly 100 games in charge of Leeds and we're still third. So there's been no improvement there. That's where I'm sort of having with it. Richard Hogan, acceptance is good, mate. I have accepted whatever happens for the rest of the season. I lashed out at the playoffs last season and I don't want to do it. Yeah, if you can keep a lid on your emotions, Richard, you're a better man than me, buddy. I really struggle with it. I really struggle to keep positive when it's going bad. I lose my shit. I'm a very reactive person. But yeah, a couple of days passes, and yeah, I mean, you see now I've been doing a lot more instant match reactions because I think it's fun content. I like watching it when I see other people do it. So I thought I'd try and harness that and put some 10-15 minute videos out. Me and Priestley did one after Swansea. It went down really well because, you know, he's like my brother and we can just back and forth. And I did one this one, it went down really well. But obviously you're seeing me quite raw there. You're seeing me emotions directly after the game, which you don't tend to see. Usually a game will be at 3 o'clock. Say I come home, I do a review at 10 o'clock. I've calmed down a little bit. I'm showing you those emotions straight after the game, which are heightened, you know, they really are. And I'm just dead passionate as all you are. Keep going, mate. Hey, Richie boy, I will do, mate. I will do, mate. Shawnee, all right, mate. I am with you, kid. I head up chest and tits out in my case. I love the bucket hat. Yeah, man. Try to bring a bit of colour to the greys and horrible shades of shit we've had this last few weeks. Good evening, Matt Free, mate. Gavin, I've got to go there as well, mate. Yeah, I've got to. I'm forcing myself to believe because I know how good we are, but they ain't showing it on the pitch. So I'm having to switch up a little bit. Do I think Middlesbrough could beat us tomorrow? Yes. Could it be a draw? Yes. Can Leeds win? 100% we can win. So I'm going to go with that narrative that we can win, regardless of what we've seen. I don't see the run continuing. I just don't see it. What we're saying, we're not going to win for another 2, 3, 4. I just can't see it. It's got to change at some point. And when it does, the confidence comes back, and I think we go all right. Danny's watching both cheating on news. He's a man of many talents. We can do both. We should be getting at the Borough back line. They're there for Ian. They've got 7 injuries. Don't get me wrong. Ours are starting to stack up again. Out there, we get some back and then we lose some as always. It's so annoying. Obviously losing Rothwell, now losing Pascal. It's a bit of a rejig in there, but we've still got good options, which is what Farke said today. We've still got options. Got to keep it realistic. Yeah, we have done it 100%. I feel like that's it with me. I feel like I am really realistic. I think I'll always stick my neck on line and say we'll win. I mean, you know me, up until 2 weeks ago, I don't think I'd tip less than a 3-0 win all season. Like, I've been called an happy clapper this season, but there also has to be realism creeping in. You know, when you look at it and go, 1 win in 6 for Leeds United ain't good enough. It's not good for anybody. So, like, there's got to be realism in there. 2 weeks ago, I'm saying it's 3-0, 4-0 every single game. So I'm not a negative fan by any stretch. But, I mean, I got a message today of someone saying I need to be 12th man, and I don't know what more I can do. Like, than be 12th man. I go to games, I spend my money, I'm invested emotionally. You know, the 11 men on the pitch have to be, the 11 men for the 12th man to give a shit. And I do give a shit. Do you know what I mean? I am allowed to vocalise my opinion. So it's an hard one. But yeah, I am definitely realistic. I do think we'll lose, but then go and beat them for the season and go, oh, wow. You think we'll lose tomorrow, Sean? Then turn it on and go up. Well, if we lose tomorrow, win every game and still go up, I'd take it. But I think if we lose tomorrow, mate, it's going to be carnage. PSF, I hope, mate, I hope you well. We'll all be Leeds fans next season, so there's nothing wrong with accepting things have gone wrong. Yeah, 100%, mate. It doesn't matter what division we're in, do we? We get stripped of everything and mate and be in conference, we'll still be supporting them. Like, honestly, regardless, we'll be there. We will be there. You're right with that, mate. Cardiff is nice. Yeah, thanks, mate. I've never been to Cardiff, mate. I've never been. I think I've been to Wales to work a couple of times. I went to Holyhead when I was younger and stuff to work, but I've never been to make Wales like this. So I'm really looking forward to seeing Cardiff. A couple of nights in the city centre with wife, and really looking forward to it. Ming, season starts tomorrow, end of. That's a good way of looking at it. If you look at it like, I remember my mate Paul from Wales telling me, look at it now like a bit of a mini league. 6 games to go. We're slightly behind, yeah. Can we do enough? Can we do enough to win that mini league? Yeah, of course we can. Of course we can. It's got to start tomorrow though for me, Sean. I don't see us losing tomorrow and turn on. It needs to tomorrow. Stephen Horseman, mate. We need to put some pressure on their centre half. One of them was Housen. Yeah, I mean, I'm sure Housen's playing again, I think, isn't he, at centre half, and he has dropped back as his career's gone on. He's 36-year-old now. We know he's a centre mid by trade, but he'll do a sterling job in there. He isn't the tallest. He's definitely a physical player though. But we need to be testing. Don't we need to be? Before people ask, I do think Pirro starts up top, but he needs to be mobile. He needs to be pressing, moving about. I actually think Aronson starts tomorrow in 10, and I think that'll aid us me going forward with the fact that Johnny Housen's at the back. I think we need someone to sort of press on him and run him ragged a little bit. So I think Aronson plays tomorrow. Is Darlow playing? No, Darlow's in, mate. Darlow did superb. It's Darlow's shirt to lose now. If Darlow's steady, he makes a couple of saves, makes no big errors, he'll be his till end of season, mate. And I don't think you see Melly in the Leeds shirt again myself. I really don't. Danny Green, been talking to a few other football fans. My general point has been if teams had been more prepared to get amongst Leeds, we wouldn't be in this position. Hull City 3-all game is one I've highlighted. Yeah, I agree, Danny. I agree, mate. Good point, that, buddy. Yeah, 100%. Just do your own thing, mate. Yeah, that's it, mate. I do. Darren, Joe doesn't like disagreeing with him, lol. No, a lot of people don't. Duncan, evening, Matty, enjoy the game. Yeah, I'm buzzing, mate. Like I say, I've said before, and I've not been to a away game. I've been to one in my life 10, 12 years ago, Reading away, years ago. When Sam Byron was first there, I think it might be about 10 years ago. So I'm buzzing for it. Can't wait. Patrick Bamford. Oh, mate, no, don't go. Chris, Joe lost his head over your comment, mate. I wouldn't take it too seriously. Mate, it is what it is. I voice noted him afterwards. We had a bit of a chat afterwards, and he ignored me again. I love Joe though, mate. I love him. Yeah, that's it. I mean, ostracized might be too strong a word, Sean. I'm not too sure. Like I say, I'm not a very intelligent guy, but it sounded posh, so I said it. I was thinking of ostriches, and then that popped in my head. But like I say, I think when you look through his career, there's been, I mean, I don't know any manager that has this problem every season. Like, as Wilder told someone, like, well, not told someone, it's not like he's told them playing reserves, but I feel like every season there's a player that he just don't play, and it becomes an issue. And an issue creates media talk and hype between fans. And is he an issue there or not? I don't know, but it could be off-putting. You know, we've seen it. We've seen it with 3-4 players just at Leeds United in 2 years. He had it with a couple of the better players. It's like the better players, the fancier players, the more flair players. He don't like it. I don't know what it is. I don't know if he just like structured and boring. I don't know, but he has it quite a lot now, and it's a bit off-putting for me as a fan. Like Large Ramazani wants to pirouette and do this and that, and then do a fucking somersault across pitch. I couldn't give a shit. Like, let him just express himself. That's what football's about. Enjoy yourself and express yourself. And I feel like he pours cold water on that, and that's what I don't like. Yeah, well, that's what it is. You see, right? I can't help but challenge stuff at the minute. So if I feel like I've always had imposter syndrome while I've been on YouTube, to be fair. Like, if I'm honest, you know me, I wear me out my sleeve, and I feel like I've had imposter syndrome, and I've treading eggshells, not knowing, what to say and stuff. But, like, now I'm feeling comfortable, like, in my own skin on here, and, I do feel like I can be a bit more honest, and I don't remember when I first started, maybe, subconsciously I'd watch a lot of content, and maybe I'd go along with people, or I'd feel like I can't say certain stuff. Whereas now I'll just say, in a respectful way. I just think, that point wasn't valid or whatever, just like I get, people say to me, which is fine, it's opinions, but, I'm in this space now, and I feel like there isn't many people willing to, like, go out there, I don't think, and say what everyone can see. I am just a normal fan stood on terraces, well, sat because I sit in the East Stand, in posh streets for brawl sandwiches. But yeah, I don't know. Melier hasn't helped us with his ups, and could have made a couple of signs in January to help. Yeah, and I've been told under good authority as well that Daniel Farke turned down a goalkeeper, and I think we know about the goalkeeper. I think that's common knowledge, but also a striker. He turned down the option, I think, for Adam Armstrong. He said no, and I just don't understand why. Yeah, I think he's a little bit coxy. I think he's a little bit, look at me. I do think that a bit. I won't lie. Only time will tell with regards to Ramazani. Hope he comes on tomorrow and makes an impact. It's up to Larger to apply himself if he gets a chance. Yeah, and I just don't get the narrative on that. I mean, that one thing Joe's been really vocal on. I don't like talking about other people, but, like, I know it's been vocal on is that certain people. So this is how I sort of think of it. Certain people need calling out in the press to get a reaction out of them. I understand how that works. Some people need an arm around them. I also understand how that works, right? But what I'll say on that is, until that player shows the reaction, it's just your opinion, and it could be the wrong one. So, like, he publicly criticised Tanaka against Swansea, right? So by that logic, he plays well against Luton, but he didn't have a good game against Luton. So now, by the logic applied with Ramazani, if he gets minutes this week, he should come on and see a reaction. Chances are that might not happen again. So I think, what obviously in the world, in any workplace, some people need an arm around them, some people need kick up the arse, and I sort of get where that point comes from. But until you see the reaction of that kick up the arse, I don't think you can say, well, Ramazani needs that sort of punishment, or Tanaka needs verbally, criticising in public, because we don't know that. And Tanaka didn't have a reaction against Luton after being publicly slated. For me, when you get asked about Melier, who's at fault for stuff, and then he just singles out another player who's not even getting an opportunity to prove himself. Plus, people say, well, if he didn't show it in training, he doesn't deserve to play. But what I will say to that as well is, what about the people who have been playing and haven't been playing well and don't deserve to play next game? I don't pay to go watch him train. Couldn't give a shit. There's players we know. I remember Adel Tarat playing for QPR when QPR had that season, and they absolutely bossed this division. He was one of the best players to ever grace this division, right? 10 years ago, whatever it was. Poor trainer, lazy. Get him on a Saturday and a Tuesday, best player in Championship, one of the best players we'll ever see at this level when adults are at that season. Sometimes, if you're on about treating people differently, sometimes that X Factor player may not be best trainer. May not be. But on a Saturday, on a Tuesday, he'll come on and he'll be the one that wins his promotion. He'll be the one that has an X Factor. Say, I don't pay to watch us train. There's got to be a little context applied. It can't be he's lazy. Well, what's he not doing? Is he turning up late? No, because he'll be getting fined and we'd hear about it. Is he absolutely shocking in training? No, or he won't be on bench. So what is it? Is Farke just raising his bar because he thinks he's that, and he just hitting it because maybe it's an impossible, to reach where he's saying, because maybe he just don't fancy him. Maybe you just don't fancy him. And that's where they come in with saying maybe he's lying, maybe he's exaggerating. Maybe it's not Ramazani, don't give a shit, he ain't trying to train him. Maybe it is just Farke's not that keen on him. So he just says he's not doing it in training as a reason to why he's not playing him. That is possible. That is likely. For all the people who play game after game after game after game and don't perform at Ellen Road where the paying fans are, where the points matter, they get picked for the following week. You're not picking someone because what? He's not sprinting every fucking drill in training. Yeah, Melior's played every game and he's dropped clang after clang and we've lost 15. I haven't lost no points from Ramazani being a bit lazy in training. That's where my head's at with it. It's annoying. So annoying. I'm not sure about lying, but I don't agree with players being slated in public. Yeah, well, that's it. Like I say about lying, I just think he's exaggerating. I think if you don't like someone in life, you'll exaggerate your point to make them to fit your narrative. Oh, I don't like him, so he ain't quite giving it in training. There could be players at training looking around going, well, he's giving as much effort as me. That is possible, Darren. That is possible. Hopefully, but a game tomorrow is a game. Yeah, 100%. I think it will be. I think we're too good for it not to kick into gear at some point, regardless of Farke. I think we go up in spite or regardless. I think we're too good. And I haven't envisaged anything but promotion, so I can't even go there. Yeah, I think so. I think he looks like a man under pressure. Hey up, my good friend Sean. It's been quiet today on WhatsApp. Hope you're all right, mate. Imagine Not Being Leeds. No hate from me with people's opinions. Just too many people. Yeah, that's it. I'm just a realist, mate. I'm just real. It's just what everybody can see. And if I'm honest, there's more people in my mindset than not. But what I'll say is, I'm struggling when people are saying I'm not. People are saying you need to support them, you need to back them. What more can I do? What more can I do? I go to games, I'm invested, I watch every minute. All I do is watch YouTube, and I'm so, enthralled in everything Leeds United constantly. What more can I do? The fact that I don't rate Farke right now, if he wins next 6 games, I probably still asked if he's in it, next year. I ain't bothered. No one's bigger than the club. I ain't bothered about that. But what I will say is I can't pretend to be someone I'm not. I've loved Farke until I haven't. And guess what I've done when I haven't loved him anymore? I've just been honest and said I don't fancy him anymore. And that's fine. And if that changes, if he's still here in 6 months and we're doing well, and I think I can see progression, I'll turn around and go, tell you what, I like Farke again now. And you'll think I'm a flip. Whatever you think, that's fine. But right now, don't fancy him. And that's fine. Evening, everyone. Keep up the mint concept. Thanks, my mate. Hope you're well, boss Nas, buddy. Hope you and family are well, mate. I am still pro Farke, but that doesn't mean you can't criticise him at times. He has deserved some anger. Yeah, he does, mate. He does. Like I say, what I'll say, Duncan, you're pro Farke, but for what? 6 games or beyond, because I think it's probably more evident than ever now that beyond the 6 games is probably a step too far. Ashley Buckland, we're all best mates again at the end of the season, lol. Hope Saturday was an end of our bad blip and go on a run now starting tomorrow. Yeah, man. Fingers crossed. Fingers crossed, Ashley, mate. Fingers crossed. There's my mate Boss Nass's channel as well. Go check out some non-league content. Top guys, Boss Nass. Deserves more subscribers he's got, although he's pretty good for the size of the club, mate. Keep up doing your good work, mate. My mate Priestley, what the fuck is on your head? I'm trying to be positive. I'm trying. Yeah, Rothwell's a huge loss, mate. Especially when Strauch's out again now, and then you're having to. He ain't going to trust Phoebe yet, is he? So then you've lost 2 centre mids now, because one's having to cover a centre half. So now you're stuck with Gruev and Tanaka. I say stuck with, they're very capable. But then your sub on, I assume, would be Gilavogi, which you don't really want to see either. But Niall, to say that Leeds is an over-emotional club, to surely he knew that before coming in. Yep. He knew our record and how capable we are at fucking it up. Shirt's too heavy for some players, including. Yeah, Niall, great comment, mate. Great comment. I didn't like that when he said about, we're an over-emotional club. But a fucking massive club, but a huge club. And like you say, you know that before you come in. You know that. And for me, 2 years is a long enough barometer, a long enough patch there to look at and go, within 2 years, 2 full seasons almost in the Championship, with the squad you've got, the wage budget, everything you've got at Leeds United, you shouldn't be third for the second year running. Currently, obviously, it could change. That's how I see it. And we've all said all season, we're better than Sheffield United, we're better than Burnley. Well, we're not, are we? You know, we're not. The squad hasn't been rotated enough, and there's loads of reasons for that. You know, I feel like we're running out of steam a little bit, but can we turn it around? Yes, we can. Rob, and we Matty on Farke. Too many things in his comments, subs, etc. He should be positive, not negative about our players. I agree, mate. I agree. I think it's bullshit saying that he's good man management. I really do. I think it's poor. Just look how far the 3 teams that went up have gone in the Prem. Such a big gap, mate. We need to spend big if we go. Yeah, and that's the thing, Rich. Will they give a massive budget to Farke? That's why I think they may pull the plug. You know, when we get promoted. Go back to saying when rather than if, because I've always said when. When we go up, are they going to give 150 million war chest to Farke? I'm not too sure they are. You know, there's so many good managers out there. So many managers who can adapt. You can't adapt in game for me. Danny, I've loved Matty's meltdowns recently. It's like Millwall all over. Yeah, every game is a Millwall, Danny. Every game is Millwall. Can we play every week? Pace is going to tear Johnny Arsehole. Johnny Arsehole. Pace is going to tear Johnny Arsehole. And Bill Ayling apart, plus good movement off the ball. Leeds Williams. Yeah, I've seen that Ayling is injured. He's out in it. Plus loads of them are. 100% always leads no matter what. Matty, are you driving or is a wife to Cardiff? Going in our lass's car, but I'm going to drive, mate. So, yeah. My favourite season was League One, minus 15 points. Was mental in the away end of it. Oh, yeah, I can only imagine, but it was class that, yeah. The latest supercomputer was Burnley first, Leeds second, and Blaze. Yeah, things with that. It's just all dependent on your stats, who you're playing. It's all. I don't really read too much into it, Stephen. You know, I firmly believe if we get his acting gear, we can still finish top. Are Burnley good for a loss? Probably not, but they're probably good value for a couple of draws. My worry is I just don't know if them two are going to have a blip. I know Sheffield United have just lost, and we've seen Sheffield United lose back-to-back games this season. We've seen them lose to Hull, but they don't tend to drag it out. Burnley have had periods where they've dragged out a bit of patchy form in terms of draws, but no one's had a patchy form like we've had. You know, this like now 1 win in 6. I don't think, or I can't recall. They've had an odd blip, the odd loss as Sheffield United, but they're seeing it kick on again now. And I wouldn't be surprised now if Sheffield United kick on again and hit another purple patch. Evening, Matty. Farke needs to earn his props now. Yeah, he does, buddy. He does 100%. We'll miss the game live tomorrow, says Michael. I have an important engagement. If we win tomorrow, I promise I'll keep away from the rest of the games for good luck. Don't do that, Michael. Don't do that, mate. Get stuck in as soon as you can, mate. Don't worry about no superstition. You sound like my mate Priestley. I said the same, Matty, in my life, but so yeah, I think he's, as much as I loved Willie Norton playing in 10 or what, you know, I wouldn't take Willie Norton out of the 10 because I don't think he played particularly well or anything like that. Sometimes games just pass you by, sometimes you're just not at it. I think he's still worth playing in there, giving another run, but I won't mind seeing Aronson back. You know, he's had a bit of a rest there, not starting. And yeah, I think he can put Housen under some serious pressure. Yeah, I agree, mate, 100%. Mampadu at centre half. I would like to see Ramazani up top with Pirlo behind him. Richard, I just like to see Ramazani on pitch full stop. At this point, I put him in goal. I just want to see him on pitch. I just don't understand the guy. Let's be fair. Until he got injured against Watford at home, he was our best player. I thought he was absolutely outstanding. And I genuinely feel like he's going to be a top player. A top player. And I'm worried that it's not going to be at Leeds United because of the way he's getting treated. It'll be nervous away end, I reckon. You'll be able to tell how the game's going to go the first 10 minutes. Yeah, Niall. It's going to be very nervy, mate. When you go to Butter, don't go under like a frightened rabbit, lol. I won't, mate. Yep, he did. He did it with Cantwell at Norwich. He did. And there may be reason for it. He may have been a twat. Maybe. I'm just saying, though, you know, it's one of them. Matty, an imposter. I'd say you're one of the best, mate. Stop being stupid. Cheers, pal. You do feel like an imposter when you're doing something new like so. There's all these big people around you've been watching for ages. You know what I mean? But I do feel like I'm part of it now. I do feel I've got my confidence. I feel a lot better now. But yeah, I still have my moments, mate. Farke wants Ramazani to prove he deserves a place in the team, but a good manager will convince Ramazani he should be in the team. Great point again, PSF. Great point. You know what it is? I feel like if you're a good enough manager, it shouldn't get to having to publicly humiliate a player, but put down a player in public to get a reaction. If you're a good enough manager, you get a reaction on training field. Come on. Like, this is what I mean. Like, when you look at things like that, how can you say that I'm being negative? Like, how can you say Farke's been positive? If you're a good enough manager, you shouldn't have to, as a last resort, go or something like that, putting a player down who won't even get being questioned about, Hey up, Jam, hey up, you well. It is concerning, Matty, considering the huge past and future investment. Exactly. So much right on it, mate. For me, honestly, this might sound a bit heavy, but if you're not, when there'll be people in here who might say this applies to them, but if you're not downbeat at all, if it's not got you down at all this last 6 games, are you even a true fan? Like, how can you not feel? I'm not saying you've got to be negative. I'm not saying you've got to be pissed off all the time. Glass half full. I live like that. I am a glass half full kind of guy. I'm just a bit down at minute, and I don't rate Farke. Like, there's not much. It's not much deeper than that. I'll give him my points and reasons why, and you'll agree or you won't. It's fine. But if you're not cut up a little bit, I agree. People like my mate Danny. I know he loves Leeds. Everything's Leeds. He's on YouTube every day with Leeds. Is Danny Talksport. He can brush it away because he's seen it all and done it. I get it, but it's still fucking gutted. Do you know what I mean? You're still gutted. Maybe not to my level, but you're still gutted. If you're not at all bothered, if you think Leeds are fine because we are Leeds United, everything, then I don't understand it. Do you know what I mean? I don't understand how you can go to a game if you've been to a game and then walk out for the last, 2-3 home games, just feeling like shit and still be positive. Fair play to you if you are, man. Fair play. Sean says, my team is Darlow, Firpo, Bogle, Road on Amps, Tanaka. Of course, my love of Gruev, Willie, Aronson, James and Pirro. Yeah, I agree. I agree with that one, buddy. Willie out on left. Willie Start Solomon. That's probably the only one really I look at now and think Willie Start Solomon. Carl Hennessy, Matty, from the 63rd minute in the Swansea game, all the players were faking injury and running the clock down, and we are 2-1 up in the 96 minute, and our fullback is rushing to get the ball, says it all. Yeah, I know, mate. A simple throwing down the line would have helped, buddy. Simple one down the line rather than throwing it in back into the middle of the pitch. Who do you want as manager when Farke gets sacked? Depends where we are, mate, doesn't it? I mean, people are saying he won't get sacked this season. I guarantee if we got Middlesbrough tomorrow and get beat 3-0, I wouldn't be surprised if he's sacked Wednesday. In my opinion. Not saying I want him to be, just saying if we don't win for the next 2, I mean, at what point, if we lose next 6, are we saying we just stick with him? I've heard people say, well, we stick with him now, it's gone too far. What if we lose next 6, we stick with him for playoffs? I don't believe we do. I think he's got a couple of games. I think he's got to, win and then draw maybe and look like he's turning round. Because if you lose dressing room, you've lost. You're staying in championship. If you lose his dressing room, we're staying in championship, aren't we? Regardless, if he's lost that dressing room. Another couple of bad performances with bad results, and you're right about that, aren't you? So I don't know, David. It depends on, I haven't looked into it. I don't go looking at managers. I want Farke a bit to succeed. I want to be a Premier League side next season with Farke keeping us up. I think Farke's Leeds United could potentially keep us in the division. It's going to be a struggle, but we could get a brand new shiny toy manager coming from a foreign league or anyone else, and we're probably still going to be flirting with the idea of relegation because of the level. Do I think Farke deserves a chance if he gets us up? I did all season. I'm not too sure now. But I aren't going to cry either way. But when it comes to who, mate, honestly, I wouldn't want to make any calls, to be honest. I'm not too sure. But like I say, that's not my job, mate. I'm just a fan art, so I'm not too sure. But there'll be plenty out there, buddy. Plenty on continent as well who could come over. The people Bournemouth manager. There's loads of people we've never heard of before who are doing well in Spain, in France, in wherever. And look at Regis Lebris at Sunderland. There's loads of good managers out there who can adapt and change things up and not be as stubborn as what we're seeing from Farke. Ramazani, look at Ramazani's face on the bench as others were going on for him against Luton. Was sad to see, and I really felt for him. Yeah, Michael, it's when you're seeing Schmidt come on in your position when he hasn't played all season. How are you going to feel? I don't see how. It's going to be very telling. Does he get any minutes this weekend? Because when people are saying, it's to get a reaction out of Large Ramazani, then that means he's going to have to bring him on then on 70th minute, innit? Which isn't long enough. But is he going to bring him on minute 65, 70 to see that reaction, or is he just not going to play him again? Because for me now, it looks like if Solomon starts on bench and Willie starts on left wing, what are the chances of Solomon being that sub when Schmidt's just come on ahead of him and Solomon's on bench as well? For me, if Willie starts on the left, like I actually think he might, Solomon is going to be the first sub. So I could see Ramazani not coming on again because he don't really rotate with Dan James. And if Aronson's on 10, you're probably in a position where Aronson comes off, but it'll be Pirro drops back and Bamford comes. So I don't actually see how Ramazani gets minutes tomorrow. I hope I'm wrong. I want to see him. But he never trained and he was a monster when he came. Yeah, it is what it is, mate. No need for that imposter syndrome bullshit with you, Matt. You are a top quality contributor. I love you like yo. I know it sounds mad because I only know you since your channel started. Thanks, Sean, mate. Lovely message that. Thanks a lot, pal. Yeah, love you too, buddy. Legend. Nige, KJ mentioned today he heard via some players there is some of the players not happy with Farke. You know what it is, Nige? Would it be a surprise? Would it be a surprise? I don't think. I haven't heard Farke take any accountability for anything that's gone wrong at Leeds United in the last 2 years. I've not heard him take any accountability. Everything's fine and rosy when we're playing well, and boy, have we had a good season. Let's not mix it up. We've had a brilliant 2 years in terms of week in, week out. Brilliant. 4 losses this season? It's been a great 2 years. It really has. On a consistent level, we've gone to work happy on a Monday morning. I say that all the time, but it's true. But 100%, there will be disrest in that changing room. There's got to be. I think Farke has a high opinion of himself, if I'm honest. I do, in my opinion. It's only an opinion. It's only something in my mind, just like when other people make comments, what I might disagree with, that's fine. It's just an opinion not to base it on. I do think he makes stuff about himself a little bit. He's not very self-critical, which he is at fault when we don't win games for me because he has to motivate the players. And that side to me looks like an unmotivated side, which they should be motivated anyway. They get paid good money to play for Leeds United. They're all talented professionals. But sometimes you need the manager. Because guess what? If you didn't need a manager, you wouldn't fucking have one, would we? Why would clubs pay £2, £3, £4 million a year out to a manager? The players are good enough. They still need direction. They still need a manager. So we can blame the players as much as we want. Individual errors has cost us this season. Those individual errors have happened from mainly one man who was being put on the pitch by mainly one man. So it's hard. Because for me, he's at fault for a lot, is Farke. And I don't think he recognises it. I don't understand why people get stressed about a different opinion. Football is about opinions, and as long as it's not personal, embrace it. Differences make the world go round. Duncan, great point, mate. Great point. And I never get personal, ever. Never get personal. Yeah, Stephen, same as Danny, mate. Batty was an awful trainer in training as Wilco State, but I always give. Yeah, it's that balance, and you've got to set a precedent. I understand. You can't be seen to favourite one player over another. I understand that, but like what I will say is, you sometimes can make allowances for certain players, can't you? Certain players, you can make those allowances for and let them do the business on a Saturday. Let them do the business on a Saturday or, a Tuesday. I don't think it needs to be, he ain't showing it in training. Define, he ain't showing it in training. He's not winning duels. Well, Aronson's not been winning duels on the pitch where it does matter all season. You haven't been strong in duels, mature in duels, whatever that means. There's loads of people like that. And I just think it's, what's it? I want him to be more specific with that, if I'm honest. Be more specific and tell us more than what it is. Because for me, it's just not a good enough excuse for a player with that X factor to not be to not be playing. I just don't understand it. Whatever it is you do not play, you cannot make a difference. That's it, mate. Yeah, you can't. Like I say, how's he going to make a difference? How's he going to show anyone when he don't get the minutes? Mate, being a football manager is like making love to a beautiful woman. Swiss Tony. Oh, Richie, some people think they're better than others. It's sad. Just do your own thing, mate. Thanks, mate. Thank you. What's that? Look at Cantona. I was thinking about Cantona when I was saying it, Sean. From the team across the Pennines, he was effing lazy. Dragged them to the first Prem title. It is, mate. It's so true. Ramazani, all mind games is possibly maybe. That might be all said to get large. Well, that's the narrative, actually. That's what people are thinking. But for me, that's not a valid point until he's given the minutes to prove it. Like if he gets 30 minutes, 25 minutes, and we see a reaction, then I'll go fair play. It looks like you did right there. But for me, looking at what they're doing, Ramazani, kicking him up arse and helping because you're not giving no minutes. Like he's had periods this time he's been fit on bench and he hasn't come on for 2 or 3 games in a row, man. Giving him a kick up arse ain't gonna do no if he's not touching grass. You and Priestley remind me a little bit. I want that one. I would give Sam Chambers a start. The lad plays enough here. I'd like to see him on bench, Ian. I'd like to see him on bench. I would do, yeah. I think he's a really good player. Stephen Underwood, I'm with Joe. We will turn this round. Class is permanent form. Yes, Stephen, I think we'll turn it round, buddy. I think we'll turn it round. I just aren't going to overlook the negatives, mate. But yeah, I think we'll turn it round. I think we'll win them on a 2-1. I think we've got it in as Arsenal to win by more than that, but based off the facts, the stats, the form, I aren't going to tip 3 or 4 like I normally do. Normally I just go, yeah, but I'm going to go 2-1. It's going to be tight. I don't think the players will appreciate any of their teammates being called out in public. Those who say it works would not like it themselves. And that goes for some content creators who ban fans. I'm not going into bottom bit PSF because I don't know much about that, obviously, but I agree. And I know some people don't mind having a rocket up their ass and being, but if I'm honest, they've got to be few and far between people who want to be publicly ashamed or, put out there that they're not doing enough. To be actually, it's quite a scathing thing to say about a footballer, isn't it? About professional sports and that they're not doing enough. It's quite a scathing thing to say. Probably one of the worst things you could say is that they're not doing enough. So I don't see how, is it that pathetic that you're expecting to go, fuck you, fuck it, I'll show you. Like, I'm not too sure. He's a professional footballer with talent. Just let the kid play, man. Just let him play. Darlow, Bogle, Rodon, Amps, Furpo, Gruev, Tanaka, Nonto, Chambers. Yeah, it's not going to happen, Ian. 100% not, but I do like young Tom Chambers. Hey, Wilco Whites, I'm not worried about the injuries we have, as we have the best squad in the league, right? Even if we get promoted, I don't think we can risk it with Farke in the Prem. Yeah, I agree, mate, and I don't like feeling like that at all. I'm feeling the same deja vu at the moment. Last season, the downside started with a trip to Loftus Road. This season, yeah, fucking QPR, lol. To say Ramazani was bad in duels, Johnny Cooper proved 5 other players who were worse, including ours. Yeah, exactly, Stephen. This is what I mean. For me, he's got a bit of an agenda with Ramazani. That's how I feel. He's got a bit of an agenda. Largy was brought in as some of the replacement. Why is Farke not used him? You tell me, Nige. It's mental, man. It's mental. I've been watching all these big leagues YouTubers and I'm now doing it myself. I don't care less if people don't like me or watch. If they don't do, then thank you. Yeah, true, mate. Very true. Danny, I would watch you, but I never get to watch you live, says Michael. Harry Redknapp never used to shame players and he could get the best out of players. That's it. For me, if you're having to go to those lengths, it's a damning indictment on you as a manager that's where you've got to go with it. You've got to go there because you can't do it on the training field. That's how I see it. It's very rare, managers like robots, and Farke has been like a robot reading from that script. Boring, mundane, ready salted, vanilla ice cream, fucking shit you hear every manager say, bang. And now all of a sudden, because the pressure's there and he can't handle the pressure, because yet again with 10 games to go, Farke's run him into ground. The cracks are showing now in his interviews. Like that's where I'm sort of seeing it, and he's at fault, I think, for that. He needs to keep a lid on his emotions when he's getting interviewed, and he can't because he's stressing. He's absolutely stressing. Sorry, guys, let me just do this. I don't mind. What's that? I don't rate Farke, but I believe the team will turn it around. It's in our hands, not. Yeah, I'm saying, mate. And honestly, up until 2 weeks ago, I rated Farke. I rated him, and I backed him. And I was putting out fires all the time when it comes to Farke. Because I feel like Farke's got criticised when there were no need to be. There's been times this season where we've had negativity, right? And I will agree, there's been no need for negativity. And I've been there going, oh, yeah, you might not rate Farke at Prem, you might not think he's this and this, but we've just won 7-0 against Cardiff. What we're moaning about, and there has been people say after 7-0 Cardiff, after beating Watford, Coventry with good results, people have still come back and said, yeah, and they're probably being proved right now, to be fair. But like, there's a time and a place to bring those points. But I think when we're winning and everyone feels good, I don't think we need to talk about it. Use your opinion, say it if you want, but the masses aren't going to agree. But right now, the masses are agreeing because it's there to see. We were all desperate to see Largy back when he got injured, and none of us know the reasons why he hasn't got more minutes. Something hasn't been right. No, I agree. I just genuinely feel it's just he don't fancy him, mate. I really do. I just think he don't fancy him. If we don't go up, I'll get Danny Roll. I like Danny Roll. I think Danny Roll will I say he'll manage higher than Daniel Farke, but because I love Leeds United, I think Farke's managing at a pretty damn high level right now. But I think Danny Role will go on and have a better career than Daniel Farke. I said that earlier in the season and got laughed at because Leeds United were flying high at the top of the league and Sheffield Wednesday were struggling. But I believe Danny Role will have a better career than Daniel Farke. That Danny Role might not manage at a side as big as Leeds United, though, but I think he'll have more years in the Prem and he'll be a successful Premier League manager at some stage in his career, I think. I feel so sorry for Ramazani. Me too, buddy. Me too. Now it is with injuries, players out of form, and some apparently pissed off. I'm struggling to see how Farke turns this round. You know what it is, mate? It might just be a case of in spite of Farke, Nige. Might just be in case just in spite of him. We've got the players, we've got the talent. If they turn up and have that fight, I mean, I've heard people say we battled hard against Luton, we had that fight, we were physical. I still think we lost a physical fight at Luton. Something else, we're more. I mean, don't get me wrong, Morrison and Adebayo up top, they were physical. You know, I think we dealt okay with them at times, but Adebayo ran through two of our players to help set that their goal up. I do feel like not having Rothwell for set pieces and not having Strout for the next two as a minimum means we've got no threat from corners now for the next couple of games, which we're 6 games to go. When we're needing goals, we're needing wins, we're needing points, we're needing to scrape and scrap for everything. When in the last 6 games we've got no fight, and we haven't even got set pieces to rely on, which I know we haven't had for fucking 100 years really in his whole existence. But at times this season, we've scored goals from set pieces. We've looked more. We're off well in this side this season. We've looked as good from corners as I've seen in many years. We haven't really got that threat now. So we are really relying on as star players, Ramazani. We're relying on a star players clicking into gear in action, regardless of what Farke does. Regardless of what he does. Ian Ward, the reason Ramazani didn't get on was he annoyed Farke when he gave the ball away cheaply, which led to the goal. Yeah, mate, I know. I've seen that today as well, Ian. And he gets he gets criticised for it because he's capable. He's a big enough man to take that pressure and take that negativity from his manager in public, apparently. But we don't know that. Yet Meslier has been at fault directly for goal after goal, and he doesn't even question it because Meslier is too much of a softer character he can't deal with. That's what I don't agree with. I don't care about that. You know what I mean? If you get asked about Meslier because he's fucked up and give a goal away, totally his fault. Answer the question or just say I'm not answering any question. Don't speak about somebody else. Don't moan about Ramazani not doing something because he give the ball away cheaply. Do you know what I mean? Like, he give the ball away cheaply because he's trying to win this game. He's trying to impact the game. Those flair players or star players will make more errors. Look at Rutter last season. X-factor player. Someone you pay your money to watch. But guess what? He's going to lose ball more than everybody on pitch because he don't play the percentages. He don't play the percentages because that ain't his game. And I think you allow one or two in that offensive area to just give free rein to and go enjoy yourself. Let the structure be with all of the players. Let Aronson do what he wants. Let your 2 DMs sit. Everyone else can have structure. Allow a couple of these players to go fucking play with freedom. They lose the ball so fucking what? You've had your keeper throwing it in his goal 3-4 times this season. And he hadn't had to deal with the shit Ramazani's had. Come on now. You know, it's just so annoying. I'll cry if we don't win, says Cade. Hey, Richo. Hope you're well, my friend. That's Seasiders TV again. My mate Bosnas, go give him some love for Bridtown. PSF, if Farke is so good in this division, if he got Norwich promoted twice, why did Norwich sack him? Yeah, well, they weren't going nowhere. Well, they up, down, up, down, up, down. What I'll say is, he got promoted with Norwich, didn't spend much money. He come back down, granted. Chris Wilder got promoted with Sheffield United. They didn't spend much money. He got him to 9th, 10th in division for season before ultimately coming back down. So people say he's way better than other managers. I don't know. Yeah, Sean at Wilco White's just reminding people. So anybody who watches our late night Leeds on a Friday, because I'm going to Cardiff Friday, Saturday with the missus, we are doing late night Leeds on Thursday. I'll bang a message out though so everyone knows. But yeah, it'll be Thursday this week. So make sure you tune in for that one. So what's the 11 tomorrow, guys? Darlow, Firpo, Ampadu, Rodon, Bogle, Gruev, Tanaka, James, Aronson, Nonto, Pirro. I've had no Bamford talk yet. All I've seen from Ramazani is him sulking if he doesn't start, shows nothing from the bench. Stephen, if that's how you feel, that's fine, mate. No I can say can change that. He hasn't shown much on bench, but it's hard to show much on bench when you're getting 10, 15 minutes every 3 or 4 games. I will also say there's been times this season where none of shown front bench. That's only just happened at QPR. That's only just kicked into gear. We've had plenty of players show front bench this season. Pirro early on, he overtook Joseph finally. Dan James was starting on bench. He overtook. Eventually, the 11 sort of picked itself. Some of the sub players have struggled to make an impact. Sometimes that's game state. Sometimes you're 3-0 up. Then you're coming on and it's disjointed because you haven't got your 11 out there that normally starts. You've made 3 or 4 subs. Sometimes just game state players that way. I will agree. Larger hasn't looked good when he's come off the bench. But like I say, he hasn't had it's not even like he come on the 70th minute for 3 games in a row. He hasn't. He has not even come on as a sub for 3 or 4 in a row. I remember him playing 10 minutes, then he didn't play for 2. But we're giving some of these players 90, Stephen. Do you know what I mean? And I don't know if all I've seen from Ramazani is him sulking. I think that's exaggerating. Every time you see Ramazani, every single time you see Ramazani, Stephen, is being sulking. I don't agree with that. I don't agree that every time you see Ramazani is sulking. I just don't see it. I see him jogging up and down sideline, laughing and joking, celebrating when we score goals. I don't see him sulking when he's on bench. Because I call it out if I did. Because I don't want to see that from a player. I don't think that's all you've seen of him, pal. Danny Rumsey, go check out his channel, please. Wilco White's my mate Sean's channel. Go check him out. And Callum at Passion for Leeds. If you want a bit more Leeds content, go check them out, please. Richard says, show some bite and get the tempo up all game and we might stand a chance. But if we do not fight, we do not get the prize. Yeah, away at the Riverside, Middlesbrough are going to fight for everything out there. They're absolutely going to bombard us. They're just going to go forward. You know what you're going to get there. We always talk about those raising the games. Is this even a Yorkshire derby? I hate people say it's a Yorkshire derby. It's not a Yorkshire derby, all in my eyes anyway. Oh, pardon me. But yeah, they're going to give it. Ex-Leeds played in Johnny Housen. We know, I think it's going to be end-to-end. We need to take his chances. I back Pirro in this game to get back to scoring ways. I'm expecting quite an exciting game. I said it at Ellen Road. It was a game at the time at Ellen Road, we won 3-1. That was a game I was worried about, because of the form they were in at the time. They've had such a mixed season. They went 5 games in a row getting beat, weren't they? I think before this recent run of 5 wins in 7. But on the day, they'll turn anyone over. On our day, we will turn anyone over. We've had more of our days than not this season. But right now on form, it's hard to say we're going to win, really. Away from home. But I am going to back us to win this one. I've got to. 100% something has happened between Farke and Ramazani. I think so, buddy. I think so. It goes way beyond just in training for me. I say Darlow, Road and Ampadu, Firpo, Tanaka, Gruev, Solomon, James. Kid. Yeah, there's the first Bamford. I don't see that, mate. I don't see it. I don't think Bamford starts a game at all this season, till the end of the season. I really don't. I'm going to try a Palmo. I don't think I'll have time, mate. I don't think I'll have time. I'll have plenty of beers, I think, but I would like to have them. I do enjoy them. David Oliver, all I'm hearing is negatives. Time to poss up and support the manager and team. You can't win, can you? You can't win, David. I think we get promoted, buddy, and I think we win 2-1 tomorrow. I've rated Farke and bigged him up all for 2 seasons. I'd just start a massive fan of Farke now. Going through chat, you might be talking about chat rather than me, and I'm just going through chat, just giving my opinion on what we're talking about. I think we'll go up, and I'm buzzing. And what happens with Farke, I don't really care after that. But if it stays or goes, I'll back the boys, I'll back the manager, because I want us to win. But it doesn't mean I've got to like everything he does. And I'll mention stuff that I don't agree with. And guess what, David? He will not be watching me right now and will not give 2 fucks. So it doesn't even matter because he ain't even seen this. But he'll hear me from the terraces, mate, because I'm as loud as anybody in there, trust me. I was at West Ham last week for Swansea won, mate, which apparently, it's supposed to be quiet and no atmosphere. Trust me, Myro had atmosphere. We keep Farke next season. Ramazani will volunteer to leave. Yeah, I agree, 100%. I don't think we have them both at Leeds next season, that's for sure. You all good. Just a bit pissed off at some other channels, toxic chats, but it comes with Leeds meltdowns. Yeah, it is what it is. You just got to be respectful of each other. Just try and be respectful. We all have different opinions. I suppose I've struggled this last 24 hours with a couple of comments I've had and stuff, and they haven't been bad comments. It's just, just basically saying stuff like you've got to, stop moaning, support the boys and support the manager. I'm just talking about what's relative now. Whatever. All I'm saying is relative right now. You know what I mean? I'm giving you my opinion. I are a football analyst. I'm not a tactician. I'm not a manager. I'm just a fat guy with a ginger sash from Leeds who loves his fucking club, who decided one day to do a YouTube channel because I was inspired by Just Joe and other people now who are friends in this space. And guess what? We don't always agree. And, if you want just good all time, then create your own channel and put that out there yourself. Do you know what I mean? And that'd be great. Gives me something else to watch as well. But I say, if you're going to watch me, I'm just real. And honestly, up until 2 weeks ago, the only spats I've had are 2 games this season, Millwall, but I was fuming with Millwall. Now I feel like I'm on a Millwall run every fucking game. But I am a very positive guy. Positive. What I've overcome in my life, trust me, I am fucking positive. But Leeds United, I love them a bit, and I'm hurting right now, mate. Hurting. Do you think Aronson comes back in? Is Ramazani likely to get more minutes? I think I think Aronson starts, and I expect Ramazani not to see the pitch. I hope I'm wrong, though. In the summer, if we were promoted, would you take Rafa Benitez? I don't know, mate. He's a bit of a dinosaur now, isn't he? Not too sure, mate. I think there's younger managers out there I've never heard of who would do better. Skip. He's an attractive name, isn't he? But yeah, I'm not too sure, Paul. Why would the board pay 11 million for someone if Farke says he is no good, but was good enough to score at Real Madrid? Yeah. Why would they? Aronson will be back in. I don't mind. Nonto better on the wing, though. Yeah, I mean, I'd like to see Nonto back out on left wing, where I always thought was his best position. Not too sure. Was Joseph ill against Luton, so an option? Now, yeah, he's back in. He's another option. It's going to be really interesting to see how that sub is when it comes up top, if he even makes a bench, that is this time. Yeah, I mean, I'm going to bring up Bamford because he hasn't come up yet. I feel like we've got a real knack of when someone does the basics, when they haven't had a good time, we tend to overhype them. So, did Bamford change the game? No. Did he look live? Did he do more than Pirro? Maybe. For me, he just looked different to Pirro. He was a different option. His attributes are different. So when you watch the game, he was running in behind. He was getting stuck in. But what I'll say with Bamford is people now getting all giddy because he looked okay for 15, 20 minutes. It's like when Melee used to catch a ball. We'd overanalyze it. When Melee would make a basic save, we'd overanalyze it because it was Melee and we don't expect it of him. So because Bamford's been crocked and everyone says he's shite, when he comes on pitch and does okay, people are over-egging his performance. The fact he played, the fact he's come off and there's been no recurring injury. If Bamford's fit, he will get minutes before the end of the season. But what people have got to remember, a bit like Melier, even if he goes through a good run of games, I would still expect Melier to come up with a mistake. Just like I still expect Bamford to miss that chance to win us the game. It's hard because his attributes will help and aid other players. But I think in 2025, to be expecting Bamford to save us when it's usually this time of the season, he's out injured. He doesn't normally finish the season, so we'll have to see if he finishes the season. But it's another option. It's another option, and when I'm a big believer that you sometimes need to adapt and change your tactic. We know Farke has one plan, and that's plan A, and you just do it and do it again, which is fine. Some managers don't like to change the philosophy at all, but it is good to have another option. Bamford is totally different to Pirro. You can go direct to Bamford. The ball, when he's in form, when he's free, when he's fit, it sticks. He's good in the air. He can bring people into play. There's a lot of facets to Bamford's game that can aid us towards the end of the season. But the best ability is availability. Is he going to be available? And when that big moment comes, I don't back him to score it, but I back Pirro. So for me, it feels bizarre that I've seen some people saying you start Bamford tomorrow and you drop the league's top scorer. Like the top scorer in the division is Joe Pirro. He's in a bit of bad form in front of goal, but he hasn't been missing sitters left, right, and centre. He hasn't missed much, really. I mean, he almost scored against Swansea. They keep him at a decent save from a volley. He's just not got a shoot. He hasn't scored. What is it, 1 in 8? I think it is. He hasn't been banging for him. He hasn't been prolific, but he hasn't been missing sitters left, right, and centre either. Will Bamford do more for the ball? Yes, if he's fit enough. I don't know how fit he is. I don't think Bamford starts me personally till the end of the season, but I think there's definitely credence to him being the sub option instead of Joseph, because for me, Joseph's probably been the biggest letdown of the season. He has a shirt hanging behind me. I thought he'd be top scorer of the season in pre-season. He looked a beast. He's probably been the biggest letdown of the season as Joseph. For one way or another, I don't really want to analyse why. It's one of them things, I think. Don't dismiss the injured. That partnership, Rothwell and Strout bailed us out from one particular day. Stephen, no matter what you think of him, Alex Ferguson regularly outed players who weren't doing it. I don't think it's something you see a lot, Stephen. I can't recall Alex Ferguson doing that, but there has been managers do it, obviously. But it's just not something I agree with it. And David Oliver, the only ones I see stressing is toxic fans. How must the players feel with all the negative junk being spoken and conspiracy theories on Farke and Largy? What conspiracy theories, mate? He ain't playing him. Why ain't he playing him? Because he's a little bit lazy in training. You think that he just don't like him for me, mate. It's not a conspiracy theory. And the players are even watching this, mate. They're not watching this silly bastard with a fucking yellow hat on, David. There's no, honestly, David, there's no point you even watching. Go make your own channel, pal. Go make your own channel. Like, there's no anyone that I can say to you on here that's going to make you feel any different as I aren't a toxic fan. Watch any, go back. If you're asked, mate, which I don't think you are, go watch every single video of me for the end of the season. Go flick on them all. Go have a look at all my videos, mate. Go look at my match day vlogs. Go look at my match day vlog at Swansea when Willie Nanto scored. Tell me I'm toxic, pal. I guarantee you won't tell me that to my face, pal. This is what does me head in. No toxicity here, mate, at all. Just a real fan. Just a real honest fan, mate. Adam says football's changed since then, Stephen. Same as captains. Don't see Keane's tearing straps off. No, you don't, mate. You don't. You don't. Best is we bear with Farke till the end of the season, and either way promoted or not, we change him. Yeah, well, I think he gets changed now 100%, but it is what it is. Yeah, Voba can't stay fit. It's going to be interesting to see if he comes in now, mate. Have to see. 10 games back, us Leeds fans were saying piss the league, mind the gap, and dissing other sides. Now they've turned toxic, bipolar, or what? Yeah, but 10 games ago, we were pissing other teams, weren't we? We were smashing teams. 10 games ago, it were relevant at that time that we're the best side in league. Now it's not relevant, mate. 1 win in 6. Are you a fan if you're happy with 1 win in 6, mate? Like I'll say again, I think we win tomorrow, mate. And I think we'll go up. Exactly the same, Adam, yeah. But if you're happy with 1 win in 6, mate, then if right now it's relevant to be a little bit down about it. If you're happy with 1 win in 6, are you even a fan at all, Paul? Farke's personality is boring. It's nothing like what we stand for. I'd rather watch it. Yeah, I mean, his personality don't bother me, Brookie. I won't lie. You know what I mean? I had to ask if he's boring. He's boring. You know, I just think there's a few bits in there I'm not too keen on, but it is what it is. Sly says sack Farke and elevate an assistant to interim manager Farke. Yeah, I don't agree with that though, pal. I don't agree with that, mate. You're entitled to the opinion, but yeah, I think they'll be doing the due diligence. I think they'll be looking. They'll have people potentially lined up for next season. They're not going to be sat there on the laurels just expecting everything with Rosie. I think if we lose tomorrow, I think he's seriously in trouble going before end of season. And I think if they pull the trigger, there will be someone sat waiting. Ian Ward, the goalkeeper is a difficult position to criticise because we don't have enough strength in depth or easier to call out an outfield player, mate. Yeah, maybe it is, mate. But that's just an example. He hasn't called out Brendan Aronson, and he's an outfield player, and he's had spells this season where he's been crapping Jules. He's lost the ball. He's been weak. Stuff is criticising Ramazani for. Pat will save us. Don't, mate. Don't, mate. To be fair, if he does, fair play. Say, I was surprised when he came on. He definitely had an impact. I just don't think he starts for me. Richard Hogan, Farke's credibility can be questioned because of his loyalty to Melier. He does have his favourites, and 100% comments are a sign of him being under pressure. Agree, Richard, 100%, mate. Bang on money. Bang on money. We use Bamford, he'll have a go and he'll get a couple of goals. Yeah, maybe. Depends how many minutes he gets to his scores. What I will say is, there was a comment on one of the streams lately where someone said if Bamford would have played every game that Piddo had played this season, I can't remember who said it now. If Bamford would have played every minute Piddo had scored this season, he'd have got at least 10 goals. You can't say he's not goals. He would have got at least 10 goals in say 30 odd games, 40 games, whatever it is Piddo's played. But what I'd say back to that is if he'd only scored 10 goals instead of Piddo's 15 or 16, those 5 or 6 goals less would have cost us 5, 6, 7, 8 points, and we'd be fifth in league, wouldn't we? We'd be nowhere near ours. It'd be gone with promotion. So yeah, maybe saying if he'd have played, he'd only got 5 less than Pirro's got. Yeah, but those 5 goals would have been 5, 6, 7, 8 points, wouldn't they? I don't know how anyone can say Ramazani has done anything wrong or been bad. He's class, but yeah, exactly, mate. Exactly. 100%. You did, mate. Farke should have known after the Harrogate Cup game that these fringe players were rusty and needed some game time. Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. He played them all at once, did he? All cold and they were crap, weren't they? I'm off to Butter tomorrow night. Are you, mate? Yeah, I am, buddy. I am. If you see me, give me a shout. I'm going with the Garforth Whites. I'm going with the Garforth Whites crew, mate, on the coach. If you see me, give me a shout, mate. Just had a look, says Harrison. Has been Ramazani has been an unused sub 5 or more times since he's had his swim. There you go. Mad that, innit? Unused sub 5 times, mate. Safe travels, mate. Cheers, Jammy, mate. Thank you. I'll take a 2-1. Yeah, me too, mate. I'll take that. For me, that's about Farke squad management. Some players can't get it done in random 15-minute appearances every 2 or 3. They can't. You can't give someone 15 or 20 minutes every 3 games and expect him to make an impact. Everyone was saying Schmidt was sulking, but all you see the subs running and celebrating when we score. Ramazani can exactly, mate. It's just an easy thing to say. He's sulking. Oh, he's not doing it in training. We've had, Schmidt. I mean, can I look at Schmidt like, and now he's jumped Ramazani. Honestly, it's mad. Paddy will start tomorrow, and we'll see a better Aronson due to Paddy's movement. Paddy on his day will pull the. Yeah, you know what it is, actually. If he does, fair enough, and I'll back him. And I'll tell you one thing, against Middlesbrough, he normally scores. He scored last season there as well. So I asked, but he come on for a cameo and did all right. Is his body going to be able to get through? He isn't the Patrick Bamford from 5 years ago, do you know what I mean? And he does miss the big moments. Leicester in Premier misses big moments. He's like Melie as a striker. You know, he can give you moments or games of a consistent level for so long, and then there's a big blip or a big moment that goes with him. But if he starts tomorrow, I won't mind. I just don't think it happens. I ain't gonna sulk. I ain't a massive Bamford fan. I haven't been for a long time, but I ain't gonna be asked if he starts. I'll back him. I know at Middlesbrough. I reckon he could get one, mate. Create my own channel, not you, Adam. Not you, mate. You're not allowed to do fuck all like that. You're not allowed to do anything like that, pal. That was a joke. I think he's just mentioned that was a joke. Piss off. Me and Matty didn't agree on Bamford coming back, but he's like a brother from another mother. Love him a bit. Cheers, Danny. Is that me or Bamford? I personally don't think results change if we had larger in for the last few months. He wouldn't stop Melie dropping more. Michael, no, he wouldn't stop what's going on the other way. 100% he wouldn't, mate. Although I do think he tracks back more than Solomon. I won't lie. The bits I've seen of him, he gets up and down. But yeah, you can't legislate for that, mate. But there's been times where Solomon's been out of form these last however many games now, and largely could have been impacting things further up the pitch. So you can't legislate from dropping ball. But then I could counter that and say, yeah, but we could have been 3-1 up instead of 2-1 up against Swansea had Ramazani been on instead of Solomon, because Solomon were turgid against Swansea. So there's ways to look at it. But yeah, you can't legislate for out really in defence and your keeper mainly. Stephen, the hate to Farke, even when we were winning game after game, is staggering. We've lost. Yeah, you know what it is, Stephen. I agree with that, buddy. Something we agree on. I haven't give Farke any hate. I ain't even hating on him now. I'm just not a fan no more, mate. But 100%, it did my head in. I was having people coming here. You know, I've got a subscriber on here called Easy, and we have back and forth, and he's been hitting him all this time over the last 6 months on this channel, and I've been putting out fires, getting give over. How can you say they've just won 4-0, just won 3-0, and he just don't like him? And that's fine because it's his narrative. I just never would understand it when we're doing well. Why be negative when we're winning games? I'm negative now, Stephen, because we're not winning games. But I understand what you're saying 100%, and you are right. A lot of people don't like Farke, and it doesn't matter if we win or not. Like, call me fickle. If we go and win the next 6 games, it would only what 2 months ago I was saying I'm falling in love with everybody, the manager, the coaching staff, the players. I felt a little bit like I did under the. I felt so like in love with the whole city, the whole club again. And now I'm saying I'm not asked about Farke. It's just where we are in terms of the results and the comments all in a line. You know what I mean? It's made me feel like this, but 100% you are right. There's been a lot of people criticising when there were no need to criticise, and 100%. But I weren't one of them. That's for sure. Richard, we are going to Pistol League and we are going to beat Middlesbrough 4-0. Too bad. I hope so, my friend. We need to be on it tomorrow, says Kieran. Ampadu back at centre-half. What I will say with that is, mate, Ampadu at centre-half. At one point, I said it was his best position. I don't think it is now, but he's a bloody good centre-half with Rodon. Him and Rodon, when they're on it, they're phenomenal. They really are really, really good. Gruev with Tanaka, and I am a Gruev fan. And the last few games Gruev's played, Kieran, he hasn't been good for the last couple of games. I'm hoping he's back to the Gruev we all know and love. Very, very capable player. I haven't seen the 10. I think so. But I don't think we've seen the last at Willie. There, I really don't. David, do we put Ampadu in central defence or Voba? I think Ampadu, mate. I think Ampadu, just because we know he works well with Rodon. Although if Strauch was out for the season and you get Voba back to fitness, there's an argument to say that Voba comes back in at some point. But I do think Ampadu works with Rodon. You're losing out in centre of pitch. You're really threadbare in middle of pitch then. But I think he'll go with Ampadu and Rodon, but it just makes sense for this game in particular. If Bamford stays fit, he will take Jose's spot. I think so now. I think so. And I've always disagreed with that when Danny said it. But what I could never foresee for periods of this season was Joseph not coming good. And I never believed Joseph would be this poor all season. Do you know what I mean? I always expected at some point the boy would turn into a man and up his levels, and we just haven't really seen it. And now you've got Bamford come on, and he did take his chance of minutes, did Bamford. Like I say, I feel like we're all buzzing because he didn't do no. We don't have the ceiling for Bamford isn't massively high amongst Leeds fans, and he came on and did well, did all right. But that's more than what Joseph's probably done. People are saying he deserves to start over Pido. I don't think that's fair. But to be second sub over Joseph, he probably right, and he's a totally different option, which is probably right though. Yeah, he did. Mate, Solomon did miss one. He did miss one. He should have scored that, Solomon. He really should. Yeah, it was. And it was good defending that as well, wasn't it? Be class, to be fair. Be like YouTube's version of Stars in Their Eyes tonight, Loft. Yeah, he does press, mate. He does. Ian says Pat occupies defenders better than anyone else. Yeah, he does. But it depends what you want, doesn't it? Because he occupies defenders, he'll pull them apart and stuff like that. And that's great if he can lay it off to his 10 orange wingers and they can bang a couple of goals in. Because ultimately, when it comes down to Pat, he don't put his chances away. But it is what it is. Not going to be a Pat bashing here. He came on after being nowhere near it all season in terms of fitness. He come on and he did well. I just don't think you can trust his fitness. But we know that, don't we? And Joseph's there if need be. But we really need Pirot to start firing again, don't we? Because he's the one we can trust to put the ball in the back of the net when we need it. No, he can either work alongside Pirot or come off the bench. Yeah, it'd been good to have seen when Bamford come on, Pirot went 10, Bamford up top for long. I think that could be a good little partnership, but didn't last too long. Andy Roy, if we ever need 2 consecutive wins back-to-back, it's tomorrow and Saturday. I am captain, obvious, lol. Yeah, you are, mate, but 100%. 100%. And then everything looks so different. What I don't want is people then coming and going, look at you panicking over now, because right now, the panic and the worry is justified. Come Saturday, with 6 points in bag, hopefully, which I think because I believe we win tomorrow and I believe we beat Preston, then all of a sudden it turns 100%. It's back on, innit? You know what I mean? And I firmly believe we will win tomorrow and win Saturday. I'm not doubting promotion. I'm just doubting decisions and form currently. Evening, Segundo. Hopefully you're all right, mate. Thanks for dropping in. Wait till Matty gets to our comments, Adam. We'll crack him up. To be fair, I say Adams and I just skim over them now, mate. Joseph did play pre-season with Broughton, in fairness. Yeah, and he was brilliant in pre-season, mate. He was brilliant. Yeah, I'm saying, Michael, I think if we can just stop the rot, get the first win, I think then we'll kick off. Sorry, Matty, you're toxic tonight and I like your channel. I don't know where I've been toxic, mate. I don't know why I've been toxic. I really don't. But it's fine. It's your opinion. That's fine. I'm not a toxic person, and I don't think I've been toxic tonight. My opinion is a little bit lower Farke at the minute. I'm a little bit down about results, which you should be. You should be. Since I started watching these YouTube channels on Leeds, it's negged me out. And if I was a player, I'd feel low. Yeah, but they ain't watching it, mate. They ain't watching it. That's what I mean. You can't say in one breath. I don't know if we would have said it, to be fair, but Farke's all right to call a player out publicly, his manager. Some fat guy from Leeds talking about him on YouTube. I don't think it affects him, mate. I really don't. Booing him in stadium and all that shit, 100%. But me just saying, I think this. I don't really think it matters too much. Fully fit Bamford, full of confidence, would give this team a huge lift. At the present moment, I think people moan because Piddle is no doubt our best finisher at the club and he needs a huge hand at the minute. Yeah, he's had to do it all on his own, hasn't he, buddy? He's had to do it all on his own. But like I say, unfortunately for Pat, he's at that stage of his career now, his body just doesn't hold up, but hopefully it does, and hopefully he's got a role to play. Not happy with winning 6, Danny, but we can't turn on the manager and players. It's not loyalty and good support. Brings poor atmosphere, time for positivity. Yeah, well, I'm trying to bring the positivity. I am trying. Like I say, I will be there tomorrow shouting for the boys. If we get up, I reckon Farke will get a go at Prem with money to spend, but on a short leash. I've said that all season, mate. I'm not as sure now if that works, Kieran, but yeah, it's not out of the realms of possibility, mate. I've always said if you get up, you should have a crack at it. My opinion's slightly changed now, but if I'm honest, if we get up, I'm bouncing, I'm buzzing. I had to ask who's managing in Prem. Whoever the 49ers back after this season, I'll be fully invested in it. Andy wrote, it's not toxic, it's just different opinions, all subjective. Maybe slightly heated, but it's good to chat. Yeah, I mean, I'm not a toxic person at all, man. I have agreed with all of it. If you listen, Stephen, he's also saying we will win tomorrow. How's that being toxic? Cheers, mate. So I don't think I'm being toxic at all, but he's entitled to his opinion. To be fair, I think Farke was only mentioning the duels as part of a bigger issue. Rama was crap for quite a few games where he came on and we were winning and no one was bothered about it then. Yeah, mate, 100%. He has not impacted games off the bench as Ramazani. 100% agree with that. But there's been a lot of players that haven't, mate. There's been a lot of players who's started games and not performed, yet played week in, week out this season. That's how I sort of see it. But he calls Ramazani out. So there's a bigger issue there. Michael says, Dallas is the only person who could step into the final 5 games. You're not getting anybody outside the club. Imagine Dallas, Michael. Imagine. Why do you not think anyone else outside club would take over? I think that's crazy talk, mate. Me. I think that's crazy. Imagine being any manager who's decent now, right? It's not going to happen. But let's just say they sacked him tomorrow. And then you go, right, you got 5 games and it is, I don't know, it's 500 grand or whatever. A bit like I did with Allardyce. Why would you not take that job as a manager? Leeds United. Usually you're taking over a club fighting relegation. Why would you not take over a side with 5 games to go and a guaranteed playoff spot at worst? Of course you would. Of course you would. It's a right little job, is that? Class job. Anybody would do it. Anybody would do it. Who's a decent manager, I think. Who's out of a job. Bob Young, Matty, how many sitters we've missed these past few games? Farke hasn't missed them, the players have. Fair point, mate. Fair point. Been a lot more than just poor finishing, though, mate. A lot more than just poor finishing. But you can rotate the team, can't you? You can drop players. You can drop players. I don't think Pirro needs dropping, if I'm honest. I don't feel like You can drop Dan James, if I'm honest. I think like easy constant. But when you look at the manager, I think there's a lot of cracks in his armour at the minute, mate. I really do. It's not even about just losing, mate. I'm not even talking about me now. I'm absolutely fine. I'm not even bothered. Couldn't give a shit, David. But yeah, it's not about us losing one game or whatever, mate. It's three draws on bounce at this stage of season. Shocking, mate. 1 win in 6 is fucking well bad, mate. Seaside TV, football's a weird thing. Brid couldn't buy a win and now top of the form table. Get in there, boss Nas. Leeds need to claim what they have worked for. All mentality at this point. Yeah, it is, mate. And mentality sometimes starts at the manager. The manager's got to get him fired up. The manager's got to get him firing. He's there to be shot at because he's Leeds United manager. People who love him, people who don't want negativity, that's fine. Tell you what, let's speak in 6 games' time. Hopefully, we've won 5 or 6 of them out of 6, and we go up and everyone's buzzing. But right now, it's relative. Right now that we've been playing shit football, getting shit results, which creates a shit atmosphere and creates me having a bit of a shit life because it's all I fucking give a shit about at times, which is very sad considering I'm a family man. It's very sad, to be fair, that sometimes my mental health and my whole mood hangs on a Leeds United result, but it's where we are. Michael, I was impressed with Bamford. I would put him on late over Joseph. Bamford is more likely to score, in my opinion, as long as Paddy is up for every game, not just Luton. Yeah, I think he comes on now instead of Joseph, and I didn't think I'd be happy about that, but I probably am. It is frustrating with the Ramazani omission. What exactly was the original injury? They always seem to gloss over it. It was against Watford, mate, wasn't it? He had that shot that went in. I'm sure it was that game. He had a shot, keeper spilled into his goal, and then he went out on left wing, and I think he rolled his ankle or something like that. I'm not too sure. And he tried playing on and couldn't. Just need the winning way back, we do, buddy. Gruev ran his heart out for Bulgaria when they played Ireland last week. Mate, Gruev's such a workhorse. I'm a massive fan of Gruev, but he's got a point to prove because he hasn't played well the last few games he's played. Stephen Underwood, there is no doubt some fans just want Farke to fail, even at the expense of Leeds. I don't get that, mate. I don't get that at all. I do not understand that at all. It's relevant now that Farke isn't getting the best out of his players. It's relevant now the players aren't performing to their levels. Combined, it's not a great place at the minute, but they've got all the tools and all the fucking possibility that they can go win every game and finish top of this league, and we're all partying in Millennium Square. And if I see you, Stephen, I'll buy you a fucking beer, pal. Honestly. But yeah, you are right. Some people want him to fail. You should have no agenda against anybody for me, because we don't know all the facts. We can have his opinion. I've got my opinion on stuff. And that's it. But you should never have an agenda where you don't like someone and you want them at least to fail because of that. That should never be a thing, mate. I agree with that, mate. We don't have Rothwell now, so who drives a midfield and attack forward? Gruev hasn't been. Yeah, I agree. It's a massive hole there. I'd like to see Tanaka given that role, David. I'd like to see Gruev be a little bit more defensive and let Tanaka be the one that drives. Because I think Tanaka can do it all in midfield. He can do the dirty work, he can clean up. He great at winning second balls. But I also think he could play in the 8, he could play in the 10. I think he's got all of it to his arsenal. And he hasn't played well the last 2 games, Tanaka. So it's been, for me, these last 2 games have been the worst performances since we've had him, Tanaka. So I expect to see a reaction from him. I would like Gruev to be the more defensive one of the two and let Tanaka attempt that role. But not having Rothwell in there it's a massive downside to our game. That so it's a massive shame because he's been outstanding for us this season. Bamford's been fit for ages, no doubt, and only got 6-7 games in him. And Farke said if he stayed fit, we would have been promoted. Yeah, but he also said that Melia was best goalkeeper in the division last season. So I don't always agree with what he says. Again, I don't know. I don't think you can guarantee me if Bamford were fit last season, we'd have gone up. Like, I'm just not sure. It is what it is. Don't forget to get liking, guys. Yeah, please stick a like on. Please subscribe if you're new here. It'd be much appreciated. I've had really good numbers tonight. It's mental. 84 watching now. Yeah, please stick a like on if you don't mind. And please subscribe if you're new here. And I aren't too negative for you. Farke said in his presser Bamford was playing whether Joseph was fit or not in the last game. Fair. Mark Edison. Matty, love this channel. Real guy, being a real fan, speaking from my heart. Keep it going, mate. Monty, thanks, buddy. Means a lot, buddy. Thank you, Mark. Hope you're well, mate. Big win tomorrow coming, hopefully, pal. How about Rodon, Amp combo? Rest Bogle replaced with Byron Tanaka and Gruev in midfield. Rodon, Amp combo. Yeah, I've seen a few people say with Bogle, Andy, not being too. I just don't think you. And you know me on this channel, I love Byram, love him, but I'd never replace Bogle and Firpo with Byram unless his injury or massive cause for concern with Bogle or Firpo. And I'm not too sure. I think you let Bogle play through this form. I don't think he's one of those ones I'd drop. He wasn't overlapping Dan James at the weekend. He weren't. I don't know what it was. I don't know if it were instruction. I don't know if it was fatigue. I don't know. But I think Bogle is one of the players who's earned the right this season to be allowed a bit more time. Yeah. I mean, if he's worried about the threats that Middlesbrough pose down those flanks, that are very forward-thinking side of Middlesbrough, massively in form, maybe he'll go a bit more defensive. We've seen before against Burnley, he's had Byram and he's had Gruev in. Gruev's going to be in. That's going to be quite defensive. Maybe he does. I just don't see it. I think you let him play through that form, mate. I think Bamford will be first off the bench up front. Yeah, David, I agree. One thing we agree on, mate, 100%. Stephen Underwood, this is definitely one of the better channels out there, but this run is tearing the fan base. Fucking hell, Stephen, thank you, mate. Mad that, innit? No, I don't know about that, mate. I'm just relatable because I go to the games, which is a massive plus, I suppose. So I'm there in the stadium and I see it all angles. Do you know what I mean? And I'm just a normal person, so I don't know, mate. Fucking, if you like it, you like it. If you don't, I can't say no to change that. What I will say, if you follow this channel for a while, you'll all be hurting with me and you'll see it in me that this ain't me. I mean, next season, when we're in the Prem, we ain't going to be winning most weeks. It ain't going to be like this season, but I ain't going to be down about it because I understand. I understand this place when we're a Premier League side as a newly promoted team. I understand this place and I'll respect that. I ain't going to moan if we get beat by, a Scum or a Chelsea, or even if we get beat by a team bottom end. I'm going to be happy to be there. And as long as we're competing and trying, it is what it is. I take 17th now in Prem. I'd bite your hand off for that, which means we lose most weeks. But like right now, with how good we are and where we've been, like it's a madness to try and be positive. And I am trying, and I'm just getting through chat, just speaking with chat. Whatever comes up, I'm speaking about. But I'm positive tomorrow. I really am. And honestly, when I wake up in the morning, I've got a few hours at work, and then I'm rushing back to. I will be off my tree tomorrow, like just on life. Like I'm not a massive drinker, never done drugs. Tomorrow I'll be having a few pints, which will probably be enough for me. But I will be absolutely off my trolley on life. I will be high as anything tomorrow. As soon as I wake up tomorrow, well, yeah, in half an hour it's today, innit? I will be buzzing, meeting my mate Danny, he followed me on TikTok, and we've been back and forth, and we've been friends now for about 3 months. Never met him. Picking me up at 4:15, and then we're gone, and I can't wait. And I will be high on life. So excited for it. The thing that concerns me is, and makes me wonder, is last season's winning run in national break downward spiral. Same again this season. So what's the reason for that with Farke? I'd seen on another channel. I'd seen on One Leeds. I got told to watch it by a friend, and Gabe come up with loads of points, didn't he? And Gabe said on there the last 10 games of the seasons Farke's been sacked in. Something like 3 wins in 10, 2 wins in 10, 4 wins in 10. His form for the last 10 games is usually quite poor, apart from the seasons, obviously, where he got Norwich up. So there is points there back up that it's a Farke problem, but ultimately the players on the pitch also have to take accountability as well. What we need is to get our passing game momentum going, full steam ahead. First goal is important. Mate, we've conceded the first goal away from home 4 games in a row, David. It's a bad start. You're starting 1-0 down every game. It's not good enough. That first goal is crucial. It's such an easy thing to say. Of course, it's crucial. But at a minute, we're having to score 2 goals minimum to win a game away from home. And when you're not playing at your best, to demand 2 goals away from home is tough. And that's what we need in every game. And I guarantee we'll probably concede tomorrow. It's highly unlikely we don't concede tomorrow based on the fact we've conceded, 9 in 9 now, and 4 in a row away from home first. It's hard. Stephen, win tomorrow and all the focus on the drive back to the Premier League, 100%. But yeah, this passing game's been way off, mate. It's been way off. I agree, Ashley. It is. That first goal against crucial seems so obvious to say, but it really is. Hey up, Matt. Hope you're well, my friend. Then Bamford loves a goal versus former clubs. He does. He's a shit house for it, innit? He's a shit house for it. I think we can all agree that Farke has shown that he is not the manager we all thought we were getting. He should not be getting a go in the Premier League, in my opinion, especially not with Leeds United. Segundo, yeah, potentially. Toxic, are you having a laugh, Mike? I can't even spell toxic. I love that. Mark, no, I can't, mate. I can't. No, I appreciate that, buddy. Appreciate that. Thanks for that, mate. Definitely not. Definitely not. Oh, let me laugh. Ian, yeah, you're right, mate. Yeah. When did Pitto last take a shot out of the box? You know what it was? Sheffield United away to go 3-1 up. So about, 7 games ago? Something like that? 7, 8 games ago? There's Matt Leeds as well. That's his link. Danny's banged in. If you don't mind giving him a follow, that'd be much appreciated too, mate. People come at us, content creators, but we are better than how players are treated on Twitter. Yeah, true, mate. True. I've been called worse than toxic, man. Hey, up, Wayne. Hope you're well. Who would come off the bench at centre back if Forber starts and Amp starts in midfield? Well, that's the thing, innit? It probably would. You know what it would be, Michael? It'd be Ampadu going back and bringing Gruev on, wouldn't it? I don't think you'd see a centre half come on in that instance. Like, they're not going to bring DeBayo on. They're not going to bring Gilavogi or Byram in. So I think if Forber started and had to come off, it'd be Ampadu back, Gruev on. I don't see another way around that. Yeah, exactly, Ashley. Agree. Stephen Horseman. Let's be honest, there has been no toxic comments on here, but if that's what people think, don't watch. I have been a fan over 60 years and will still watch this channel forever. Thanks, Stephen, mate. You know me, mate. I haven't been toxic at all. It is what it is, man. People entitled to their opinion. I've been a bit down, I have, but I haven't been toxic. Sorry, watch this after watching Joe, so agree with you that he's totally got Farke coloured glasses on. The actions were certain with certain players, not just in this league, also in Germany, are noticeable. Kevin, I agree, mate. I agree, buddy. Thanks for that, mate. Hey, Matt, hey, Lee. I hope you're well, mate. From sunny Spain. He does talk a lot of sense, as my mate Adam. He does. He's class. In fairness to you, Matty, you are quite balanced with positivity being the more dominant trait, and I hear you. Respect. Cheers, David, mate. Yeah. I am, mate. It's a great channel. I've said that. You have, mate, to be fair. You have. Thank you. Tough spot. I think the board would lean with somebody familiar with no time remaining. Why I think Dallas will step in. Yeah, it's a bit mad. I love Dallas. Yeah, it is, buddy. It bloody is, isn't it? Bloody good job, though, too. Matty, you're funny, lol. I don't know what you're referring to because I'm 12 minutes behind. Matty, results happen. What grinds my gears is half-hearted tackles, giving stupid free kicks away, now passing is woeful. Do the bit. Yeah, Mark, you've got to agree with, even when it comes down like when we said about Millier. But yeah, very right. Basic passes, not going in full-blooded on tackles. Like, for me, the basics are something we, as a team, we don't do that well. Like, when everything's going well and we're in this pomp, we can blitz teams off at park. But when it's not going that well and you've got to revert back a little bit and start, build your foundation and start again. You can't play quality football all the time. Sometimes it's a dogged game. Sometimes it's just a poor level that the opposition drags you down to a poorer level than what you're used to playing or what your quality should be playing at. And sometimes when it's stripped back and it's just make a 5-yard pass, we can't fucking make it. It's been evident these last 6 games, the basics haven't been done well enough in order to grow into a game, build momentum, and then ultimately win a game towards the end with his quality. One of the big reasons Wilder has made the Blades good is because he rotates his players regularly. Yeah. We just haven't seen it, have we? We saw rotation when we were beating teams really well. That's when we saw rotation. 1 win in 6 for promotion contender team is shocking. If it was relegation battle at this stage, then results will be sacking Farke. Ashley, 100%, mate. It's not good enough. It's not good enough. Solomon is effective if he could release the ball quicker. He held on it too long, mate. Danny says, please, if you have TikTok and want to see some Meltdown, please go watch Matty. I've been intrigued by them. He's ace, lover Matty Meltdown. Yeah, Imagine Not Being Leeds on TikTok. I went viral a couple of weeks ago because I didn't know what a Garibaldi biscuit was. So then I tried one and reviewed one. And guess what? They were shite. And that's why I've never known what a Garibaldi biscuit was. Dead fly biscuit. Who wants to eat one of them? But yeah, go check me Me TikTok out. If you want a good laugh, I just mess around on them. I'm a bit of a fool. If you want to see smiling, happy Matty plus meltdown Matty, it's all on there. Middlesbrough have lost each of the last 5 championship games against Leeds United. They have, Bob, yeah, conceding 3 goals in 4 of them, but I have a huge injury worries. Come on, Leeds, yeah. It's a good time to play them in terms of their injuries, isn't it? 100%. But they'll say it's a good time to play Leeds because their pressure tomorrow for lads is immense. My word, it is immense, the pressure on Leeds tomorrow. Something we've sort of not talked about tonight and overlooked. The fucking pressure tomorrow on the boys is monumental. If we don't win tomorrow, there'll be toxic fans all over, even the most positive of fans. If we lose tomorrow, fucking hell, can you imagine? Yeah, they don't move ball quick enough. Jer always talks to me about tempo, and it sounds so basic, but you're right. Oh, yeah, agreed. We have all the tools and all the possibilities are open to us. It's a foot race now, yeah, it is. And I back us to get there. Man, 100%. 100%. Danny Rumsey, how many times do you go to Thorpe Park training ground? Do they let you in? It's a nuggets of information from you. Matty, I think you have an agenda against our best 9 in the club. Love you, mate. Nah, shut up, not having that. Love you, pal. Keep up the good work. Yeah, cheers, Wainwright. Love you, mate. Hope you're well. Ashley, every player being slacking on the ball, being too easy for other teams to defend, which is why we've been struggling. Yeah, as the way we move balls being so slow, like I say, the ability just to make a 5-yard pass has just been nowhere near it. And that's not just Farke. I can blame Farke and say I don't love him anymore, and I've fallen out of love with Farke, and I don't rate him. Whatever. The players as well just haven't been doing well enough, and whether you think that's because of Farke not rotating or whatever, they're still professional footballers, still get paid a lot of money, and they should still be able to do the basics right. In these last 6 games, there've been no fight. There's been the basics being done poorly, and ultimately they just out of form. And no matter what the manager does or says, the 11 players on the pitch have to take accountability, and the pressure is fucking massive tomorrow. Massive. Burnley have to lose a game now, surely. Sheffield United might draw after the shock against Oxford, denting their confidence. We must get 3 points and go top after. Do you think we just lost form, tired, or attitude? Did we take a foot off the gas, thinking we made it after beating the Blades? I think sometimes there's a crash in there after such a high moment. Sunderland, Blades, just a bit of a crash after that. I think the rotation of the squad has meant we've run out of steam the last 2 seasons. 3 wins in 11 last season at the back end, 1 win in 6 now, which could continue. It could continue. It continued last year. I think it's a mixture of a lot of things. What's coincided with his bad form? Chatter Rangers, does that matter? I don't know. Kenny at Everton, I don't know. He plays out of contract, Firpo. There's a lot of bits. It might just be an accumulation of a lot of bits and pieces, but I would just put it down to pressure, tired legs, mental fatigue, playing for Leeds United, knowing what happened last season. You just got to back them to get through it, mate. The main thing that's killing us now is a missed chance. It's costing us, yeah. I'm used to it as a Leeds fan now. We miss fucking chances all the time, but yeah, 100%, mate. Butter fan here says, Harry, confidence is high with our team and fans. Butter fans seeing this as a free hit after our win at Blackburn. Atmosphere will be good and won't turn should we start losing. It might turn our end, pal, if we start losing. Yeah, thanks, Harry, for dropping in, buddy. All of us fans must have thought that after the Sheffield United Sunderland game, this was going to be an easy run. How wrong were we? Yeah, well, it's Leeds United, innit? Do you know what I mean? It's why we ever think it will be easy, I don't know. Matty Farke gets us promoted and bin him off and get yours in Mourinho. 200 million in the pot. He will bring Prem players ready. He also fits the Leeds 49ers. It sounds crazy, Mark, yeah, but I think he'd take it. I think he'd take Leeds' job. Genuinely do. Genuinely think he'd take it. Nobody's arguing with Gilavogi's admission. He's played a higher standard, but yeah, there's no... Andy, that's fair. I haven't said all about that. What I will say on that one, Andy, is I don't really rate him, so maybe that's why I've not mentioned him, because I've said several times about the players that have been omitted from the squad and ostracised or whatever I've bloody used on Joe's channel. But what I will say is Gilavogi knew his role from signing, didn't he, mate? He knew that we're coming in as an emergency backup there and then, but also knew when everyone were fit, he wouldn't touch grass, and I think that was fairly evident. If we'd have stayed in cups longer, he may have got more games, but I think he knew his role and he was willing to do that because he didn't have a job at the end of the day. He weren't playing football, so he knew his role So I think I can sort of let that one slide for that reason. Farke never managed or been offered a top job other than ours. Clubs and directors listen to football. But yeah, Kevin, that's another thing. When you're top of the league in when you're top of the league in the championship, when you're top scorer in championship, when you're best player in championship, come January, come February, you start getting mentions for the vacant Premier League jobs coming up. Farke has been top of the league. We've been the best side this season for big chunks of time. Last season we had a run, 18 games last season, 14, 15 games last season, 17 this season where we look brilliant, really good run of form. Farke's never been touted for that job, has he? Southampton sacking the manager. Farke's never been called for it. So there is something in that, Kevin, I agree. I've definitely called you worse than toxic. You have, buddy. You've called me a lot worse than that, my mate. Actually, I take my hat off to all YouTubers. Without you, lot, we wouldn't be seeing other people's opinions. Yeah, that's it. That's what irritates me sometimes, actually, when people, they give a stick. Like, I'm new at this as well, so I'm not used to bad comments either, which I've had a few lately, and I've got to take that on chin. It is what it is. You can't expect good comments all the time, which I get a lot, and thank you for that. I've got to take them on chin, and I deal better with them now than I would have done 3-4 years ago. I wouldn't have been able to do this 3-4 years ago with where I was in my life, but 100%, you've just got to remember that. You've got to remember that, like, if and let's be fair, it's nearly midnight on a Monday night, and you sat watching someone in their house, sometimes in the bedroom, talking about Leeds United. If none of us did it, you wouldn't have that outlet. You wouldn't have that time of coming here and trying to get through every comment and interact with them. You wouldn't have that. You'd be sat at home bored watching YouTube of Leeds United's last game, crying because we've dropped points again. Like, we're here to be shot at, and I understand it. But, like, you also enjoy it, or you won't watch it. Do you know what I mean? So it's like, it is what it is. Like, I'm just a viewer of all others. I love, like, Joe and stuff. I love it. Great content, mate. I totally agree with your take on Farke. Cheers, Kevin. I'm just really measured. I'm not his biggest fan no more. I'm not too sure how I feel about him, if I'm honest. I think he's at fault for a lot that's going on. Ultimately, I think we get up, and then we'll see. Matty knows my Leeds knowledge is crap, and I talk crap. Oh, shut up, mate. You know a lot more than I do. Okay, maybe toxic a little strong, but definitely down. Sorry, no offense. Nah, it is what it is, mate. It sounds bad, does toxic, but I've definitely said stuff like I've said a word before when I've been like, I didn't actually mean it that strong, but like earlier when I said on Joe's oxidized or whatever, I can't pronounce it. Like that probably I just meant out of favour more than anything. And then you say a word, it's like, ooh, or when I said I feel like he's lying a bit about Ramazani, I just mean exaggerating. I don't think he's training as poorly as what I think, what he's making out. I just don't think he fancies him. So he's using that as an excuse. I think if you sort of bumped into one of the Leeds players in town and had a word with him, I think they'd say Ramazani puts a shift in. I don't think he's doing that bad. That's my opinion. But I'll never know. Reece says, Matt, if the worst was to happen, what do you do about the manager? And if we get rid, who would you have and why? Great channel, like keeper. Thanks, Reece. Do my best, buddy. If the worst happened and we didn't go up, I take it. You have to get rid of him. And honestly, mate, when it comes down to the manager, I don't know. I haven't been looking at the managers, buddy. I would like someone young, exciting from the continent potentially. We've seen what the lad's done. Has come over Bournemouth. I forget his name. We were linked with him last season or year before. Regis Lebrie's come to Sunderland. Outside, I don't want to sit here and say Sean Dyche. You know what I mean? Because I can't think of any off the top of my head who out of work, mate. Who would be a good fit for us? I really don't know. But if it isn't Farke, then you move him on and you find somebody that's better suited, mate. But I couldn't tell you a name, buddy. Maybe someone else in chat can, but it's not for me to really say. I'm not sure. Sweet dreams, everyone. I wish I could kiss you all individually. Thanks for the stream, mate. Cheers, Jamie. Well, I'm still 10 minutes behind, so I'm going to start wrapping this up. So stop commenting, yeah. Does anybody think Nonto was the right choice at 10 position? I think it was right to play him, and I think it's right to play him again, mate. I don't think he should be dropped from that position till end of the season for that one average game. Don't think he was shit. I just think he didn't have as much of an impact as we all hoped. Matty, you are no different to the most passionate. Don't let people tell you otherwise. There is no difference between passion. There is a difference between passion and toxic. Cheers, mate. Thank you, buddy. Legend, Michael. Much appreciated. I forgot who it was, but a question was asked on a live that now Rothwell was out, who's going to take free kicks. He listed most of the players. It might have been Connor. If Gruev's in there, Gruev takes your corners, I think, and your free kicks. Ramazani's really good at them as well, but he ain't going to play, is he? So our wingers need to start attacking their fullbacks again. We haven't seen, they do. They need to start attacking it. We need overlaps and underlaps from fullbacks as well. Fullbacks need to start doing what they've been doing all season, because when our fullbacks get forward, mate, our wings have been unreal this season. Been bad last few weeks, but that left and right wing have been absolutely on fire. The level they've performed at times has been Premier League level on both sides. Harry, the pressure matter. The players are so mentally exhausted from lack of rotation. I think so. Don't think it's a coincidence that Ampadu looks like the best player at the moment. After having some time out, agree. Passion for Leeds, my mate Callum's channel. Please check him out. My mate Sean Wilco Whites. Danny Rumsey. Please have a sub for these top Leeds creators, says Danny, and I must agree. Please stick a sub on some of my mates in chat if you don't mind. No, not Farke, Matty, going back to my comment on players being slacking, players going through the motions, and if they go on and do some tomorrow, we're getting battered. Hi, Matty, I am from Middlesbrough and I'm a big fan of Leeds. Oh, nice one, Damien. Are you off to the game tomorrow, buddy? Josie, he'd be perfect to get established in Premier League for a few years while we build up. We are going to need to go. Yeah, I think it'd be brilliant. Who would you rather have, Matty, Farke or Parker? Parker plays dreadful, but it brings results. Tough one, in my opinion. Yeah, it's a tough one. I'd say Farke over Parker because I've slated Parker all season, but now all of a sudden it seems like Parker's a good option. But yeah, I'd say Farke. Just wanted to say, because I've seen quite a few different names in here that I haven't seen before. Please subscribe if you want to come back and watch more. I don't know if you all know, I've got a mental health segment of this channel, which I might have to tap into. We're going to have to watch some of my own episodes here, get my head right. But I actually had Stephen Corker on last week. Unbelievable. He's never played for Leeds, which is quite ironic, being Imagine Not Being Leeds. But I had Stephen Corker on talking about his ups and downs of his career and his battles he's had with addiction of gambling and drink. And I'm so proud of that episode. Really humbled, really mental that he came on my channel through a friend, Adam. Really humble that he came on. But I'd love it if you haven't seen that episode, go back and watch it. It's an episode of ups and downs. But yeah, I had England international. He played one cap, scored one goal. Pretty incredible. If you're into that sort of stuff, watch that. It gives you a bit more about my background as well. And obviously we go into stuff with me. I think it's a really good episode, so please check it out. Hey up, Gemma from Late Night Leeds Ladies. I'm hoping to get another episode out soon, Gemma. You, Becky, and Emily, please get it sorted. We need another episode now. Becky's fighting fit. Might love to come on the show sometime and tell the Alan Clark story. Let me know if you fancy it. Well, I do fancy it, mate. We'll have to have a chat, mate, at some point. 100%. There's Gemma's YouTube. Danny's put it in. There's Dimples. Go subscribe to her too. Yeah, when you're back on, Gemma, you're going to get all that now. Becky's been in hospital, Ashley, for a while. She was in hospital for about 4 days last week. So we've had to wait for Becky to get right. She's out of hospital now, but she's still not 100%. But I'm hoping they can get. I really want him to do some. Obviously, with how things are at the minute before the Middlesbrough game, get the ladies' opinions. But hopefully, we'll get some out this week. I hope. 2050. Yeah, Richard, thank you. I'm really subs have gone really, really well recently, and yeah, thank you. Good watch, Mate. Thanks and appreciate you. No, cheers, David. Thanks so much, and I don't mind the back and forth, mate, at all. But I appreciate you sticking in here for an hour and nearly 2 hours. So it can't be that bad. Thank you, mate. I've heard Jesse's good on the last years. Ollie Wainwright, hey up, mate. You should be in bed. It's late, buddy. It's late. Hope you're well, Ollie, mate. Hope you're well. Don't forget to subscribe, everyone. It's free. Mental health episodes are called Ups and Downs. Still got to do mine, Matthew. Yeah, we'll have a chat, bud. Ashley says, yeah, Matty, Steve Corker, fucking brilliant podcast. That very interesting. Thank you, mate. Much love, mate. Cheers. Late Night Leeds ladies will be back soon. Ashley, good lass. Gemma, good lass. Great chat. Hey up, Ina. You just pop up your net end. Love that you just watch. Cheers, Ina, man. Legend. Noticed only 63 likes. Think we need to support Matty a bit more. Smash those likes. Yeah, please smash a like on it if you don't mind on your way out. Much appreciated. Right, I'm going to call it a night now. I'm excited. I'm going to Riverside. Come on. But yeah, I'm going to call it a night now. Stay at me, man. Thanks so much for everyone's being in. Appreciate it. I appreciate the back and forth, even if we don't agree. Will you be pissed off with that, you? Honestly, pissed off. Danny says, Matty, can I say how proud I am of you from your first video to where you are now? Danny, thanks, buddy. Yeah, my first video. Yeah, I appreciate that, buddy. I watched it back a few weeks back, and shocking. I'm confident now. You know what it is? I don't feel like an imposter anymore. I feel like my opinion has some weight and people want to hear it, which is nice because all it is just me talking. I've got no skills, you know, so it's quite nice people come here to listen. So I appreciate that, Danny. You're a legend. Still not done it, Mark. Bedtime, Matty, sweet dreams. About a 4-1 Leeds tomorrow. Oh, please. I'll take a 2-1, but 4-1. Yeah. Night, Matty. Night, Gemma. Speak to you. I'll probably speak to you tomorrow, Gemma, love. Stay till the bitter ends. Still, mates. Cheers, mate. Cheers, Stephen. So what do you think tomorrow? 2-1. I'm going 2-1. So I don't know what's happening tomorrow. I don't know. I like to do match day vlogs. You know that. Whether I can get away with a match day vlog for an away game, I'll be gutted if I can't. I might get told to put my phone away, stop being a twat and watch the game. I don't know. I'm hoping I can get a bit of footage to put out here, show you what the atmosphere is like in an away game, because I'm well looking forward to that. I'd love to get a bit of an instant match reaction, but again, I'll see how it goes. You can get my phone out and stuff. I'll see if anybody wants to chat while we're on his way back on coach and that. I'll see. I will be back on Wednesday. Depends how game goes. I'll be back on Wednesday for some sort of review, maybe ratings. I don't know yet. We'll play it by ear. We'll see how game goes. But yeah, I'm hoping to get a little bit of something out tomorrow night after the game. Bit of a pre-record, but definitely about Wednesday night for a chinwag as usual. But yeah, love you all. Thanks so much. And yeah, your score predictions look good. 3-1s, 3-1s, 2-1s, 2-1s as always with you, Gemma. Night all. Keep up the faith. We will go up. We love you, Leeds.